Hello, my name is Vera. This is my daughter Anechka. She's 10 years old. And for the past 5 years, a hump has been forming on her back caused by a disease called neurofibromatosis. I really wanted to have children, and my first pregnancy didn't work out. The fetus stopped developing at 6 weeks. When she was born, Anechka was healthy, no pathologies. There were no problems during pregnancy or childbirth. And the first thing we started to notice was when Anechka was 1 or 2 months old, she was very yellow. The doctor didn't tell us that she was very yellow. As a first-time parent, I couldn't tell if my baby's skin color was abnormally yellow. To me, everything seemed normal. At the hospital, they shouted it was an emergency, a disaster. They said, you have jaundice and everything, asking how we could let this happen. They prescribed us some medicine to take and said that this, well, actually, it's sometimes normal, but it needed to be taken care of. And from the moment we were examined at the hospital and they told us it was jaundice, some red spots appeared on her back, right on her back, on her tummy, like something was pressing on her. They told us not to worry, that it would go away, be absorbed. Maybe it happened when she was being pulled out and got pressed. In general, it's normal. Maybe she was lying in one position too long. But after 6 months, when the little girl started to sit up, those spots on her back began to darken and hair started to grow on them. The dermatologist examined us and said there was nothing to worry about. It's a hairy nevus and you can live with it. And as long as you take proper care of it, don't expose it to the sun, don't let it get burned, everything will be fine. You can live with it and not worry about anything. So we lived happily until 4.5 years old. At 4.5 years old, some lumps started to be felt on her back under these spots. We went to the pediatrician, orthopedists and surgeons. They said it was nothing serious, that these were lipomas, which can appear under spots like a nevus. One lump was not on the spots. That's what worried them. They said they'd monitor it. And during these 6 months of observation, we started to see a rapid deformation of the spine. Literally, in a week or two, her back just became deformed. Just like that, it happened. It happened very quickly. They did a magnetic resonance imaging, and basically, she was admitted for examination. If it weren't for the tumor, the spine wouldn't have deformed on its own. This tumor formed on the spine, and for some reason, it's stronger than the muscles. Anechka doesn't have actual back pain. She has extreme fatigue. There's pain when you touch her back. Some muscles, it turns out, have stopped working. Instead of muscles that are supposed to support the spine, there's a tumor there that doesn't hold anything. It doesn't support the bones, and it has pushed the muscles aside. And if there were no tumor, there wouldn't be scoliosis at all, if the tumor hadn't grown. And the results of the magnetic resonance imaging scans that were done over these 5 years show that it is getting bigger. I know that you were monitoring the size of the tumor and what changes there were. And as for the neurofibromas themselves, well, if you feel along the back, there are about 5 or 6 of them. Visually, the ones we can feel and see. And the ones that are inside, they are inside, and there are others that we can't see.
What other organs does it affect?
The adrenal glands, because it's located there directly close by, and the liver. There's also one of the spots on the liver. But the doctor told us that it's not dangerous. You just need to watch the foods you eat. Visually under the clothes, you could say it wasn't noticeable. But when you looked right between the shoulder blades, a little lower, there was this little bump, a hump, and it kept getting bigger. So at some point, the hump got so big that you could put a cup of water on it and it wouldn't fall off. When we were told that the spine could actually break. We were sent everywhere possible. We were sent to the Cancer Institute, and the surgeon who examined us said it quietly so no one else could hear. But I heard it when he told the nurse everything is bad. And that's when it all started. At the Cancer Institute, they told us that they don't see anything terrible, that this happens sometimes. Yes, there is a neurofibroma. That's it, we'll monitor and observe. We asked about her back. We were sent to the orthopedist. The orthopedist said she needed to wear a brace. When she wore the brace, it was very difficult for her to go to the bathroom on her own, because putting on clothes, sitting down, because it went all the way below her hips, from her neck down to her hips. It was impossible for her to figure out how to do it, because she used to do it a certain way, and now she couldn't bend, turn, or get dressed. Over time, even simple tasks like getting dressed became difficult for her. We bought clothes in a bigger size. Some things we had custom made, some we made bigger, some smaller to fit her back, but mostly we just got things a little bigger. They hadn't really made a diagnosis yet. They said there was a nevus and progressive scoliosis. But then one of the doctors said there was a suspicion that you have neurofibromatosis. We don't know why you didn't know about it. You have all the signs that you have neurofibromatosis. Some confirmed that yes, it was neurofibromatosis. Others said no, it was McCune-Albright syndrome. And others said it was just scoliosis and that you needed to work with it and wear braces. Orthopedists put me in braces, but neurologists forbade wearing them because they said the brace would compress the neurofibroma. It needs space to grow. It grows and it will press on other internal organs. That's not necessary. It will only make things worse. And Anya's physical condition got worse when we started using the braces. She started vomiting in her sleep. Her temperature would rise. Even if she just sleeps in the brace, she might throw up. The emotions were mixed. There were breakdowns. We tried to get rid of them because it affected the kids, both Anechka and Marika. At that time, I was still breastfeeding Marika. The emotions were terrifying when we were told that surgery would be needed, meaning they would have to fix the spine and push the tumor inside, leaving it there among the internal organs. The tumor itself is inoperable. A neurofibroma, if removed, will grow back even bigger, faster, and stronger. Growth has stopped. The arms and legs keep growing, and the body also wants to grow, but because of the deformity, it can't. So it grows wider instead. The legs are growing, and the torso should grow with them. But the torso compensates and actually counteracts this growth. She is growing very, very slowly. You could say she stopped at 1.22 meters. It bothers us, but we laugh about it together, that her arms are below her knees. No one else can brag that when they stand up straight and lower their arms, they can touch their knees with their fingers, but Anechka can.
She doesn't have to bend over to touch her knee.
Yes, she doesn't need to bend over to touch her knee. Anechka didn't have to explain what was happening to her. She saw it herself. She understood. And in all the offices where the examinations took place, the doctors spoke openly in front of her, hiding nothing, never asking her to leave the room. Sometimes it hurts, sometimes we cry together, we sob, sometimes we ask questions. Why did this happen? Why did it happen to us? Why did it happen to my child? But I understand that these questions are just tears, just hysteria that needs to be let out. So that even Anechka doesn't see it, and we can keep on living. When Anechka is having a hard time, I can see it. I already understand. I know by her look, I understand her. I can see that she's struggling. But because she wants to be part of the game, she pushes through and starts running. She runs to play to be just like all the other kids. Not all the kids include her in their games because they want to run, but Anechka can't keep up with them, so Anyutka needs a more measured, calmer game. From what I've observed, she has found new friends for herself. These are grandmothers on the bench who will share some wisdom, with whom you don't need to run, whom you don't need to chase. And there are some friends, girlfriends, who understand and know Anechka. To walk without stopping and not get tired, I can't even say. Maybe we walk 200, 500 meters, and we definitely need to stop or stand for a while. Or if we're in a hurry and running late, I prefer to carry her in my arms and she sits in my arms. If we don't stop, she might start to panic and vomit. After undergoing examinations in Ukraine, we started sending the documents and the test results, as well as the conclusions, to various other clinics in countries like Germany and Turkey. We also sent the documents to Israel and the United States. When we had hope for Israel, we flew there on wings, but when they told us there that it couldn't be removed, it was hard. It was hard to understand and accept all of this. I knew that there was still the United States of America. They awaited us there, but lacking a visa and money, we couldn't go. We initiated a fundraiser to resolve the issue. First of all, it was hard to fly either to America or to Israel because Marika was staying at home. She was little. It was hard for us to go through that separation. But we had a goal to help Anyutka get back on her feet, and Marika, we believed she would be fine. There was a problem with the visa. We were denied twice. I was filled with hope that as soon as we got the visa, we would get there to that clinic and they would definitely help us. When we were denied, they would tell us either you don't have enough money or you don't have enough documents. It's like hitting a wall and that's it. What do you do next? And at the third interview, when we came to the embassy, they told us no again. We can't. You still don't have enough documents. There was a breaking point. I knew the rule that you can't argue at the embassy. That was already the peak. That hope, like the last one when it's taken away, I stood by the window and started demanding. And I wanted them to explain to me because I couldn't understand why. We did everything they asked us to do. We gathered all the documents. We collected all the money that was needed. We did everything. So why aren't they letting us in? Why aren't they allowing us? But one of the officers said that he definitely wanted to help us. We just needed to provide a certain certificate. That there is a guarantor who will continue to help you with your treatment, that you won't just go there and that's it, that they will start treating you there and our country's taxpayers will be paying for your treatment. That was also a shock because we needed a lot of money. Friends, the help of friends and caring people. They gave us this document. We sent it to the United States, to the embassy actually, and we were granted a visa. It was like, hooray, Anyutka, we did it, daughter. Everything worked out. We were running around. Marika was running, patting Anechka on the back, saying, now you'll come back all straight. The joy was indescribable. It was a shock. I couldn't sleep. We did the magnetic resonance imaging, the computer tomography scan. We did everything. We were already prepared, thinking that any moment now they would tell us that everything is ready. They scheduled a meeting and they scheduled it for the evening, which scared me. It was already the end of the workday. It was already dark. And we were called in and the doctor talked to us for a long time, explained things. She really wanted to help Anyutka, she said, but they didn't want to take her on. First of all, it would be a very expensive surgery. $500,000, almost $496,000. It will be complicated, but it will only be performed on the spine. Now he says the problem you want to get rid of, specifically the neurofibroma, we won't be able to help you with that. Again, I can't say that I was disappointed, like hitting a wall or being in shock that they couldn't help us here either. They didn't really tell me anything new because we had already been told the same thing in Israel. There's no news yet, but there was some news. Now, recently, a neurologist from Israel shared the news that in their country, in Israel, this medication has also already passed medical certification. It has been certified. She will review the reports, see how the treatment is going for those people who are being treated there, and then she will let us know. Well, there is no news yet. We are waiting and hoping that there will be some news about Anechka. I don't even want to imagine that Anechka will have a hard time walking. I push that thought away. I try to reject it, even though it keeps creeping up on me more and more often. But I believe we will do everything we possibly can, everything in our power, so that Anechka keeps walking on her own 2 feet, just like she does now. My only real dream is probably for Anechka to be healthy. Being the mother of a child with neurofibromatosis or with such an incredibly severe spinal deformity like a hump on her back, a bump, no matter what you call it. Being a mom like that is easy. It's easy because you look at your child and realize that she has so much more strength and she can do so much more than her mom ever could. And that's why you can never give up. We don't give up, and our path is still open. We keep going, and every day, little by little, we get closer to being strong and resilient no matter what physical condition we're in.